Joins us now. And sir, your name is on this short list. Tell us your thoughts on that.
Well, certainly a historic day, and as we go forward here, I've been asked by many people to consider running. Obviously, my name was brought up back at the first week of January, and it wasn't the right time to be considered for that role. I didn't think based on the current state of affairs. But today, with Speaker McCarthy no longer our speaker, it's time to look forward. We need somebody who can unite the party, move forward, do the appropriations bills, cut the spending so we can get inflation under control, lower the gas prices, things that matter to Americans. All of this that's going on up here right now is just one more further distraction to the American people. Yeah. They want real results, and I believe I could deliver those if the people up here want to put me in that place.
Well, what's a silver lining here? I mean, how can you do a better job if you get that speaker's job? And yeah, tell us the good part of Speaker McCarthy being ousted. There's got to be something good here.
Well, certainly I bring a different perspective. There are going to be a lot of people. The field will winnow as people are talked to and as they talk to members about who they're going to support. I think what's different about me than maybe some of the other people that are running, I spent 35 years in businesses, very successful in business, running large businesses, all of them that I started from scratch, spent multiple, 1,000 employees, trying to find consensus on ideas that really matter for the conservative movement. I've been the Republican Study Committee chair for the past 9 months, the most conservative caucus in all of Congress, 176 members of the Republican Party working on these conservative policies that matter to the very people that are looking for their next speaker, and I believe I could deliver those.
Congressman, let me ask you this. I mean, they're already indicating, I mean, Gates said on Eric Bolling's show a couple hours ago that the next guy has got to fall in line or we're going to pull this same maneuver. So I guess my question to you is, when it comes down, when it's time for a bill to be passed, whether it's next September or whenever it is, are you going to break it apart the way they want and follow these guidelines that they say McCarthy agreed to, that they claim he didn't adhere to, which is why they ousted him? And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, certainly I've been an advocate of getting our spending under control. The last 2 years in the Republican Study Committee, I chaired the 2 budget committees that put forth a budget that balanced in 7 years, something this conference has not done since I've been in Congress 5 years. As the chairman of the Republican Study Committee, we put forth a balanced budget just 4 months ago. I've been in every one of the 5 family members' meetings that the speaker has had, so I know exactly what each of these folks from the different caucuses that represent the entire body have been looking for. So I believe that I've heard everything that's out there. As far as I know, that anybody else that's been talked about for running for this particular position as Speaker of the House has not been in those meetings. So I think that's incumbent. I think you have to listen a lot to what people are saying. Also, I think you hear a lot about regular order, about passing a balanced budget. After the president puts his out, the Congress comes together, puts together a balanced budget, something that every American has to do, every state, city, business has to do. Put that forward, do the 12 appropriation bills, put them on the floor, having the open amendments, having some of them fail. Sometimes we're not going to get it right every time. And I think we waited too late in the game, and now we're jammed up against a continuing resolution that I did not support. And I think that's what you're seeing right now is this continuing resolution after continuing resolution, and that's why we have $33 trillion in debt. And the American people, I think, are saying they've had enough. They want to see a different way forward in the Congress, and I believe I'm a leader that could do that.
Speaker McCarthy, you may have seen his press conference tonight, but here's a portion of that.
To paraphrase Lou Gehrig, he said, "I might have been given a bad break, but I truly still consider myself to be the luckiest man on the face of the earth. There's no other country that you could rise to be the 55th Speaker, not get an internship, and be able to fight for the American public."
All right. Well, that's very beautiful. But tonight I was reminded of what a career politician he is. He's been in this game for a very long time. You just highlighted your business experience that he doesn't have. And I think this just might be a very good, refreshing approach. Was that a limitation of Kevin McCarthy's, all of that time in politics?
Well, I think it's always a limitation when you have people that come up here to make legislation that have never been on the receiving end of the legislation, which is why I ran at the end of my business career, if you will, because I'm not a person that takes excuses and looks at those lightly. I think we have to be a problem solver, not a problem causer. And I think a lot of problems have been caused in Washington, D.C. on our economy, and nobody wants to take accountability for that. I've never ran from any kind of fight. I'm one that takes accountability for anything and everything. All the decisions I've made, the buck stops with me. I've done that my entire career. I never ran for anything before I ran for Congress in 2018. And I was fortunate to be able to represent the 1st District of Oklahoma. We have a lot of great people there. I hear from them all the time. I go back every weekend. I listen to what the people say. And they want a functional government. They want one that works for them. And they want to send a member of Congress to Washington, D.C. that actually listens to them. And I think sometimes we have people that come up here and they become career politicians. They start out in city councils or mayor's races and state senates, state house representatives, and then they come to Washington, D.C. and they spent their entire life in politics creating problems many times over for their people that they represent. And I've been one that's been listening. Yep. And again, if the members up here, so many members that have talked to me, want me to be the Speaker of the House, I'm certainly willing to step up and look at that.
One more quick thing. Are you, would you take the job with one person being able to pull the plug on you?
Absolutely. You know what? I've never been one to shy away from the accountability of the leaders. I've had accountability as a leader my entire life. I don't think the rule is the problem. I think that we have to perform going forward, and that's what the American people are saying. We had this rule in place before Speaker Pelosi changed it and basically safeguarded herself from ever being vacated in the 4 years she was in office. I think we did the right thing by changing back the way it's always been. The American people want to hold their people in Washington, D.C. accountable.
That's very interesting. Congressman, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it.